Welcome everyone to this session, Security, Compliance, and Identity Management. I wish you a very happy Women's Day. Thank you, Tech Now, for giving this opportunity to talk and share my knowledge on this topic, security, compliance, and identity management. I'm Dr. Abhilasha Vyas, working as a subject matter expert, cloud security with Cloud Technologies, Bangalore, India. We are working towards training people in the security areas, and I'm working in the security domain from last couple of years. So before starting this session, I would like to give you a little brief about me, what I do, how I engage myself in helping other women to come in this field. So as I discussed that I'm working with Cloud Technologies, and I'm working as a Microsoft certified trainer. I work with academia, I work with industry to get the flavor of both the side, that what industry is requiring, what we need to train students, and what kind of things are required to understand more aspects related to the technical thing. And working with the students and industry professional, I have seen a huge gap, that the women is there in the field, but they are not reaching to the leader positions. So I started becoming a member of the technical communities, where I can help other women to come and work into this field. So I am part of Women in Big Data. As an executive council member, I am part of InfoSec Girl. I am part of BBWIC, that is Breaking Barrier Women in Security, Cyber Security. So I'm part of few communities where I'm helping the women to come into this field. I'm certified on Azure certifications, which are role-based certifications on security. I've completed all SCCD certification, and also I am AWS Cloud Solution Architect certified. So this is how I'm placed. So I'm very excited to deliver this session, and I'm sure that you all will have a very wonderful learning experience in this session with me. So let's start now. So in this session, I have divided the entire talk into two different areas. One is identity and access management. Another is a security and compliance management, where we'll see that how we can manage the compliance requirement of the organization. And for discussion of the identity and compliance, I'm going to use Azure platform for demonstrating the security services. In cloud that we work on multi cloud environment. So right now I'm going to use a cloud that is Azure cloud for giving you a brief about the services which are available for managing identity and access, and for managing security and compliance. So first half of this presentation talks about identity and access management. So if we talk about identity, so identity is something which we use to identify a person. You can say a combination of username, password. You can say a mobile number. You can say a account which you have opened in the bank. You can say an account which you have opened for any social media, for accessing any service. So that identity is given for that specific access. Now, if you see, people are using mobile, people are using their own personal devices, people are using the office managed devices. They are accessing services from various devices, from various locations. Now, how we can be sure that the access which is coming for the specified service, that is coming from a legit user, and that identity is authenticated identity. For that, we need to work a lot, because in cloud, when we talk, cloud is huge, services are huge, we have to manage large number of data. We need to have a strong authentication of the identities before we give access to the services to those identities. So for that, we have a few services where we require management of the identities. How we can create user, let's say you have an infrastructure at on-prem. Now, from on-prem, how you can have your identity synchronized with the cloud environment. What all things are required to manage those things? Now, let's say you have some applications which are running at on-prem. These are the legacy applications. Now, how a user will be able to access those applications with the same identity which that user is using to access the applications which are hosted on the cloud? So all these things we need to understand, because we need to have a unified identity where we will be able to access all the services. We have a proper security. We have an extra layer of security cap also on top of that, because now in the cloud environment we cannot trust any signal. We are working on the zero trust architecture, where we are going to verify each and every signal which is coming to access services on our environment. So, in zero trust architecture, when we are accessing each and every signal, we are verifying that, and then that signal will get an access. So, in that case, it is important to work on identity. Once you are sure that yes, this identity is authenticated identity, now you can work on the access which you want to give to that identity. What kind of access control you want to give, up to which level you want that identity is going to access the data. All these things we can manage when we want to check the authorization of that identity. So IAM is basically authenticating the identity, then also authorizing that identity for accessing the services which are specified, the specified level of service access. So for that, we are going to discuss a few things. So as we discussed that we need to have an environment where we can manage unified identity. Now, what I mean by unified identity is that we, with the help of that identity, if we talk about employees will be able to access the services like the SaaS applications, will be able to access the cloud hosted application with a unified identity, will be able to also access the on prem web applications. They will be able to access the data which is available at the on prem. So what we need is, if we have frontline workers, if we have customers, if we have even external collaborators, we are having some consultant, we are having some partners, means we have some guest identities coming into our environment. In that case also we want to manage all these things with a unified identity management, where we also want to work on the life cycle of the identities. We don't want that if you have created an identity, you have given access to that identity for a certain project. Now, once that project is over, you don't want that identity to be accessing your services. That is again, you are giving a welcome to the people. Hey, come and attack me. Hey, come and access my data. So we don't want that, right? So in that case, again, you need to review all those things. So for managing the identity lifecycle, again, we have services like access reviews. We can also create a catalog. We can give that bundle to the consultants. We can give that bundle to the users. For those projects, they can work on those things, and once that is over, that will be taken back. So we can design these things based on the services which are offered by the various cloud infrastructures. In Azure, when we talk, I'm going to take the demonstration with Azure. I'll show you that how we can manage these things. We will be having the three different categories of the identities. Cloud identities we have, like the identities which are registered with cloud. We have directory synchronized identity. Now, what is DSI is that you have your identities registered with the on-prem Active Directory server. When you're talking about unified identity, you want these identities to be accessing the other applications which are hosted at the cloud from any location, anywhere, any system. So in that case, we can synchronize those identities with cloud, and then we can give them that access. So we have one category as a cloud identity, we have one category as a directory synchronized identity, and also we have a third category which we discussed about the customers and the external collaborations, where we are inviting people to come and work on our projects. Maybe we can invite them for the collaboration, maybe we can invite them for testing any project, maybe we are working together as a team. So we can have external identities also. So these are the three different, you can say that, categories which are there for managing the identities. Now, for authenticating the identities, as I discussed with you, that for authenticating the identities, it is very, very important to have different factors to make sure that the identity is legit identity. So for that, we have a very beautiful concept, that is multi-factor authentication. Why to only trust on a single factor, that is username and password, that can be breached, that can be guessed also. So in that case, we need to have multiple factors introduced so that we can have extra layer of security, and we will be sure that yes, that access or that identity is a legit identity. So for that, we can use Microsoft Authenticator, we can use Windows Hello, FIDO2 security keys. There are various options which we can use to understand the entire process. And if I'll share with you, multi-factor authentication prevents 99.9% of identity attacks. So you can see that the MFA implementation is very, very important when you want to make sure that your identity is authenticated identity and you can give access to that identity based upon the access given to that identity. So multi-factor authentication is a very, very important technology, we can say that, a feature, we can say that. So we can have passwordless technology also, and we have something which we know we can have different factors which we can involve in that. And again, this is a one click solution. I'll show you that in a single click we can implement it for the multiple users. I'll show you that in the demo. And even when we talk about MFA, we can also have different ways to provide an extra layer of security on top of that also. So we can protect our resources with the conditional access also. So as I discussed that nowadays we are able to access the services from our laptops, from our location, maybe when we are traveling, maybe from our mobiles, maybe from our personal devices, maybe from our office devices, maybe one application is trying to access another application. All these are considered as a signals. So all these signals are trying to send a request for accessing a certain application. Now in that case, when we talk about zero trust, we discuss that we are going to verify every access, every signal which is coming with a access or request. So we are going to verify that. So all these signals will be verified. Now, based on these signals, a decision will be taken that if this device is office managed device, I am going to give access to this device. If a request is coming from a personal device, which is non-compliant device, I need MFA. Once the MFA will be done, I can give access to that application. Again, I need to give a limited access. Again, I need to have a password reset. You can design your policies, you can design your strategy for managing the access attempt. That is all about protecting your resources. In conditional access also, we have a policy which we can design, we can grant the access, we can again control the access which we are giving. So that is also a very important service if we want to talk about identity and access management. I'll show you that as well. And again, we have a very important, we can say that a gift which is given to us, that once we are authenticated with Azure AD, now all the applications which are registered, no need to log in with that application again. Single sign-on will help you in accessing all the applications. So you are coming to the environment, you are authenticated with AD, Azure AD. Now with this AD, you will be able to access all the applications without re-authenticating yourself. Now, because of this, again, you are providing a security because user is not entering the credentials multiple times whenever they want to access an application. That is also a plus point for the users. And then you have access to all the applications with a single time authentication. So all these features are coming as a bundle for managing the identity and access. These are the things and all we have. So we need to provide a common identity for users, for managing the apps and resources, for managing the Defender for identity. We have that solution. So Active Directory at the on-prem, we have Azure AD. So we have a Azure AD Connect service which help us in synchronizing the identity with the on-prem and Azure AD. We have cloud identities which we discussed. We have on-prem identities which we are synchronizing with the help of Azure AD Connect. We can also have external identities. So we can manage a common identity for the users. That is also a seamless experience for the user. They are not requiring multiple username and password combinations to use for accessing the resources. That's also a terms of managing the security. We can connect with the workforce to any application from any system. We can integrate the single sign-on with the various applications. We can manage on-prem applications. Again, we can use application proxy, which is mentioned. With the help of application proxy, the applications which are legacy applications you cannot host on the cloud, again you can give remote access to your users with the help of application proxy service and connector. So these are the things which are available where you can work on that. Now, if you see this identity and access lifecycle management, the first and important thing is entitlement management. You can strengthen the security while maintaining the productivity. Also, you will be working on just enough access. You are giving user the access which is required for the user, for the role of the user only. You are not giving a access which is beyond user's role. So again, you are reducing the attack surface and user will be having access to the specified services only. So you can strengthen the security while maintaining the productivity. Also, you can streamline the compliance processes also by managing the policies and roles, by automating the reporting with the alerts. Also, you can have a detailed audit log. So all these things are coming in Azure AD. So again, we have a business, we can increase the business agility by access request management, and also we can have a automatic provisioning and automatic deprovisioning of the resources as well. So these are the entire picture of managing identity and access lifecycle. So this is you can say that the entire cycle which will help us in understanding entitlement management. You are maintaining the productivity, whatever users are requiring, you are accessing, you are assigning that. You are designing your policies to streamline the process. You have audit logs to manage that, and also you can managing the access request also. So all these things are coming under identity and access. So before jumping to the demo, I would like to take this topic also. So once we complete this topic, we will directly jump to the demo session, and then we will take the we will connect for any question and answer. You can connect me on LinkedIn as well for any questions, or you want to work with me, you want to collaborate on any project. I'll be happy to work with you and collaborate with you. So the second part of this session is security and compliance management. So in this case, if you see this cloud kill chain model, so these are the few phases which I've included in this. So first phase is recon phase, where the attacker is researching the cloud services which are there, which can be targeted, which can have some vulnerability. So first is the research phase. Then attacker is weaponizing, means attacker is tailoring the attack based on the cloud services which are used by the target. Then the delivery means that is delivered. Then exploited means evade the detection by cloud services. Then again you have a install, where you are installing the payloads, and then you are calling back, means the data exfiltrated in the trusted cloud services. And also we can say that cloud based C2. Then we have a persist, so lateral movement across the cloud resources. So first the attacker is researching, attacker is identifying the vulnerabilities, loopholes, entering into the system, compromising that system, then trying to do the lateral movement in the network to identify the more such weak machines, then trying to identify the ways to steal the information. So in this cloud kill chain model, we can take the help of security center also for strengthening the multi cloud security posture, where we can work on the secure score, we can work on the policies and compliance, we can work on the improvement of the automation, we can use the automation things. So security center is now known as Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So we will see that what all things are there in that, how we can work on the secure score, how we can create the policies, and we can manage the compliance. So if any organization is working on financial data, they have to be comply with PCI DSS. So these are the few compliance like HIPAA. So these are the few regulations and standards which we have. So organizations, based upon the nature of the data they work, they have to comply with these kind of policies. So how we can manage that, what kind of recommendations we can get, how secure posture we have in terms of cloud security, all these things can be managed with the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So this is a dashboard which we have for the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, where we have the secure score, which will tell you how strong security posture you have. Then you also have the few recommendations which are coming, all kind of machines which are coming, which are coming under the security, which you are defending with your Microsoft Defender for Cloud. You will be getting the insights also. So all those things are coming at a single place where you can work, and that is a dashboard which is available at the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. You can see the recommendations are coming, you can see the security alerts are coming, you can see the number of projects, subscriptions, all those things are covered in a Microsoft Defender for Cloud. You can also have options to work on compliance management and assessment, where you can see that what all policies, like when we talk about the compliance management and assessment, as I discussed, that we can have various compliance policies which we want to enable based upon the organization's requirement. But Azure is having a default compliance policy, that is Azure security benchmark policy. Based on that, you will be getting a recommendation, but that you can add on the other regulatory compliance also based upon the nature of the data your organization is using. So we'll see all those things, that how the recommendations are coming and how this is working. Okay, so let's move to the demo part of this. So we come to this point. So this is portal.azure.com, where we are going to see that what we can work. So I'll show you the services quickly. So here I'm going to open the Azure directory, and if you see the services which are available, all services, so these are the services category wise. If you see, these are the services which are available. If I show you the security services, you can see the list is available for managing the identity access, compliances, workloads, network, data, all those things you can manage with the help of your keys and secrets. You can store in the key vault. So a lot of things are there. So I'm quickly moving to the Azure Active Directory because we have a time in which we can utilize for discussing the identity and access management and security compliance. So I was talking about the users, I was talking about maintaining the single identity. You can create users, you can create new guest user, you can create a user, you can invite the guest users also to come into your environment. You can also get the listing of the users, that these users are directory synchronized, these users are member or guest user, that also you can identify. These things you can manage. You can club your users also. I was talking about MFA and conditional access, so I will show you that. I will take you to the users we have per user MFA. So here I'll show you that how quickly you can enable MFA for the users. It will take a few seconds. It's opening now. So we have few steps which we need to follow. So if you see, this is disabled for Ellen de Jong. Now what we can do is we can quickly enable this. Now this will be enabling the multi-factor authentication. Now what all things are there in this multi-factor authentication? I'll show you from here. We can go to security and we can see what all options we have for the using the authentication methods. So if you see, for the authentication methods, we have FIDO2 security key, which is not enabled right now. We have Microsoft Authenticator. We can use text message. We can use temporary access pass. So all those things we can use for the authentication methods. We can also see the activity. We can also see the user registration details. So all those things in your organization, the audit reports and everything you can manage from here. We also talked about conditional access, where I discussed that we have various options to work on, like the signals which are coming. So quickly I'll show you that. So I'll quickly create a policy to show you the options. So these are the conditions or the signals which I discussed. the risk, user at risk, sign in risk, any device platform which we talk. So you want to include Android, you want to include the signal which is coming from iOS, you want to manage that. Windows, Mac OS, what you want to exclude, that you can mention. You can also configure some locations, you can also configure the applications. You want to filter the devices, joint devices or other devices, so all those things, or any IP range you want to give. These things you can manage, and then you can grant the access to the services which user is requesting. So based on the signals, based on the conditions, you are going to access, and then you are giving the access to the specific services. So this was about the conditional access and multi-factor authentication. I will show you Defender for Cloud, that how we can work. This was earlier known as Azure Security Center. Now it is called as a Microsoft Defender for Cloud. If you see, we have Secure Score. Right now there is no data because this is a demo version which I'm using. I will show you workload protection, and also I'll show you the environment settings, which I was discussing, that we can work on the environment settings. I'll take you to the PAS subscription, security policy. Yes. So we have this Azure security benchmark policy, which is enabled. Now we also have different policies which we can enable, like PCI DSS, we have SOC, we can add more standard compliance regulatory also. So we will be having these which we can add on. NIST, if you see, SWIFT, HIPAA, which I was discussing, CMMC, Azure CIS. So we have these regulatory compliances which are available to us. We can add on those. And yes, again, the flexibility is given by the Azure, that we can add the custom policies also which we want to add for our environment. So that is also available, which we can work. And if you go back to the Microsoft Defender, I'll show you one more thing. If we go to the environmental settings, if we go to the regulatory compliance, one more thing which I want to show, manage compliance policies. I'll go to the sponsorship. Yeah, if you see here, we have this Microsoft Defender for Cloud, and we have these two options which are continuous assessment and security recommendations and secure score. So Microsoft Defender for Cloud, you can say, is coming with a bunch of two: cloud security posture management and cloud workload protection platform. So these are the two things which are coming with this as a bundle. So we can enable this, and when we enable this, we can see that we have options to work on the Defender for servers, app services. So these are the list of the things which are included in this. The pricing will be based on the uses, but only if you want to see the recommendations, if you want to work on that, that is absolutely coming as a free. I'll show you the recommendation quickly, then we will close our session. So I'll take you to the recommendations also. I'll go to the overview. Right now I don't have any active recommendations, but here you will be getting the recommendations based on this. Not applicable also if I want to see. Yeah, if you see this, vulnerabilities and security configurations on your Windows machine should be remediated. So if you see, the recommendations are coming like that. You're also getting options to fix these kind of things as well. So this is all which I wanted to discuss in this session. I hope that you enjoyed. This is identity and access management, which we have seen that we can create users, we can manage the access for the user, we can manage a common identity. We have also seen that we can have multi-factor authentication for authenticating the identity. We can also have conditional access policy. We have also seen that we can manage the compliance also. So for that, we can use Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So I really enjoy delivering this session. I know that this is very short and crisp, but I'm sure that that will create the curiosity in you, and you will start working on these areas. Maybe in the coming sessions we can work on the AWS cloud as well, that how AWS cloud is managing identity and access management. Once again, very happy Women's Day, and thank you TechNow for organizing this event and giving the opportunity to share my knowledge with all of you. Thank you so much, and Please be safe and connect with me on LinkedIn in case of any help required from my side. Thank you so much.